has started. The OBS hasn't crashed. We are in a good shape here. Let's put the symmetry on and start doing this concept. Where is our front, by the way? Let's go. This is our front, okay. I always have to kind of deal with this problem in the beginning to find the front. But of course, when you press this button, as you can see, and then you can go front and you will find it pretty easy. Now, we need a face. Then we will tilt the face down because yesterday I tried to do it in the stream. It came out pretty well, as you can see from the thumbnail. It's not super bad for an hour or something of a job. This concept, but the face was bad, especially from the front. From the side view, it was almost like the concept. From the front view, it was a disaster, something like from Nightmares. Almost, not quite. So that's why we will try to be a little bit more precise with the face. The face is obviously and always the most important part of any concept. This concept, although, have something else, a gun, which also is an important part of the concept. So we'll see what we'll do and how we will be able to do it. Okay, nice female face we're trying to create here. And as you notice, her face is pretty stylized. Let's zoom out into the face, zoom in into the face. Zoom out will be something else. And we'll see how we will be able to do this interesting face. I'm already, character is finished. I'm late, character is finished, yeah. It's like 5 minutes and you're already late for the stream because everything is over, usually. But in this case, no. This character is pretty hard. Since I'm gonna do the whole character, not just the bust or something, it will be the whole character. And yes, I did it for around an hour in the stream yesterday, in the Discord server. But when I'm speaking, it's a little bit slower. So we will take 2 hours probably. We will see. The problem is, one of the big problems here is the gun. It has to be modeled. It cannot be sculpted. Sculpting this gun will take you more time than modeling it. That's why modeling is, hard surface, old school modeling will be best. In my opinion, of course you can try to model it, to sculpt it yourself. Some people said that they will try to sculpt it in the Discord server, and I wish them luck, but I think that they will fail miserably. That's about to be seen. I have a friend who is sculpting guns in ZBrush, and even ZBrush is starting to lag when the gun is a little bit more complicated. So I don't think Blender will handle very well sculpting hard surface. ZBrush is handling it up to a point, even ZBrush. So I would say everything has its limitations, and making hard surface, especially more complicated hard surface, is better done with the proper tools, which is modeling, not sculpting. Don't try this at home, we may say. Also, now we need more geometry here, and I'm pressing R, and yeah, I thought that nothing happened, but the grid was just outside of my view range, so now it's fine. She doesn't look quite right, but we'll see. Probably she will look okay at the end. When we have something like unfinished, work in progress, it could look relatively ugly. Hopefully at the end everything will come into place. We don't have symmetry here, complete symmetry. Usually the symmetry in the beginning when you start from a sphere is not quite perfect. So what we need to do is just press symmetry here in this drop down menu, symmetrize, not symmetry, symmetrize, I'm sorry. So symmetrize, press it, and you should be good to go after that, after you use the symmetrize option. Okay, she looks a little bit more smiley than we need her to be, because in the concept she is not smiling at all. She's concentrated, she's frowning even, like this, frowning. We'll see. So the eyes, I think that when I did it yesterday in the Discord stream, which is not recorded by the way, so you cannot watch it, but now I'm doing it in YouTube, you will be able to watch it obviously. The eyes were the biggest issue, because the eyes on the concept, they are very much like this. So this makes it bad looking, like some kind of alien. That's why this time we will learn from our mistakes and we will make her eyes a little bit more relaxed. No, a little bit more interesting. A little bit more realistic, we may say even. Okay, let's make this here. And yes, I have spent almost 7 minutes now working only on the face, which usually means that I am getting slower with age, because I'm getting old and getting slow at that time. So yeah, that's probably true, but there's nothing that we can do about it. It's just what it is. Now we have to tilt her head downish, but not before I do this a little bit. And now we can tilt the head, but not before I do this and this. Alright, I think the head is relatively okay. Let's tilt it down, but how? Let's make a mask here and smooth the mask. 30 smooth. And I don't like it still. Let's smooth it a little bit more and invert the mask. Put our pivot in here, which is pivot to mask border. Sometimes it works. Where is the pivot? Here, okay. And tilt her head forward. Like this. We can even move her head backwards a little bit like this. So it's the neck is a little bit more interesting. And now it's obviously not perfect, but it'll do because most of her back of the head is not visible. So we will have hair, which will cover everything. Let's make this hair, which will cover everything. It will be with symmetry, and we start making the hair. The hair obviously is a very big part of the concept, and we will try to spend a little bit more time on the hair this time. We will try to achieve some result which is close to the concept. The face, I'm a little bit more happy with it than on the Discord server when I streamed. It was a complete disaster then. Sometimes even good artists can do bad things. Obviously, I found out yesterday. I kind of consider myself relatively good artist, but yesterday showed me that, yeah, we have more to learn, you know, more to practice. If I practice more, I probably will not bump into such problems. So yeah, I have to do it. Practice more. Now let's make something like a body. This will be our body. And I'm talking a lot about what I'm doing now because, you know, I'm now recording a course. Let me show you where I am with the course. Just up to here of this course. So nothing too much. But we have a relatively nice head and hair. And the other things are just like a doll. So nothing is connected. It will not be connected until the last minute probably, because of the posing that I have to do. So yeah. And since I'm working on a course, I speak what I do, I explain things. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just because I do it on the course. I try on my courses, because people pay money to see them, to not speak so much bullshit and so much things that are not relevant to what I'm doing as I'm doing here in the channel. In the courses, I try to be more precise, what I do, how I do it. I explain anatomy, I explain other things, forms, everything. So yeah. I don't speak French. Only voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Only this, nothing else. Just a simple phrase. I don't know even what it means. It means something, would you go to bed with me, or something like this. But it's fine. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? So now you see the upper portion of the head here. I mean, the hair is kind of flat, so we will do that. Then we will add something interesting, which will be a torus. And why Nico is adding a torus is a mystery, but we will reveal this mystery just in a few seconds. You will see. This will be, oops, no. This will be those kind of hairs that are visible here and there. It will just represent those hairs. It will not be exactly hairs, obviously, but it will represent something like hairs. Just so it doesn't look so boring, the silhouette of the hair, I mean, doesn't look as boring as it looks now. So, yeah, we will continue with this a little bit later. Let's continue with our hair. It should be a bit longer. You see, the hair is finishing where the ass is finishing. So, the hair is pretty long, I would say. It's not some short ass hair. Or it's short ass. No. Maybe her ass is short, but the hair is not short. So, this will be our arm. We will do 2 arms, sometimes. Sometimes we do 2 arms, sometimes we do just 1. In this case, we'll do 1. We will mirror it. And, yeah, probably this will be it. An arm, pretty thick one. We don't want to be that thick. We don't want the arm to be as thick. Like this. Okay, maybe a little bit like that. Cool. Yeah, I think this is fine. And then we need another one for the arm. Hand, in this case. The hand. Here we go. So how much time did we already pass? 13 minutes and 18 seconds it was. So I think we are relatively fine. Maybe we'll be able to do it. No, we'll be able to do it. We always are able to do it. Even if it takes a little bit more than 2 hours, it'll be fine, because in the title right now, it says around 2 hours. So usually it's less, but this time, why not? It could be more. We don't care. Now, I'm sculpting the arm or the hand itself, which usually is not a good idea. Usually it's better to put the fingers separately and everything, but I think this will be better, faster, and hopefully I'm right. Sometimes I'm not, though. So don't think that I'm always right. Sometimes I'm not right. I'm completely wrong at times. And I'm not afraid to admit it, you know. I am wrong and I admit it. I admit my wrongness, we may say. This concept is very nice, by the way, to challenge yourself, because it's not easy at all, especially the hair. The gun is relatively easy, you just have to spend some time on it. Without spending time, it will not be as easy. But if you spend enough time, it will be a super easy gun. And I will show you how we do the gun just in a minute. But it will be a very fast work, and I don't recommend you do it if you want to do your final gun, not just a 3D sketch. I don't recommend doing it this way that I will show. If you just want to do a 3D sketch, as I'm doing, probably it's a good idea to do a 3D sketch like this. We'll see. So this is her arm. It's fine. Maybe we can inflate the breasts a little bit more. Why not? It's always nice to inflate the breasts. Not always though. I've seen not very nice representation of breasts sometimes. So we have to be also careful with that. Here it will finish it will be the thinnest part of her waist, and then we will go thicker from there. But we will see about that when we make the legs. Let's make the legs. In the first half hour we have to be ready with the body, and we will start doing some clothes and other stuff. Let's go and see how the legs are working. Good. Nice. Or noise. Now this will be the upper leg, this will be the lower leg. They should be a little bit more spread. We'll see. And a little bit longer, obviously. So let's make them longer. And more spread apart, like this. And yes. Probably the head is a little bit too big for this body, but I'm not completely sure. We will see how this will go. Everything is adjustable, so don't worry about it. We can do everything. This will be her feet. So you see her feet now are looking amazing, and I will leave them like this because they just work, you know. And the legs, they also just work. We don't need to do anything for them. Yeah, today is 1st of April, by the way. It's the day of the joke, the day of the Fool's Day or whatever it's called. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm joking. I always am joking, so don't worry about it. This time I'm joking a lot because you cannot leave the feet like this. It's just disastrous. Let's add some geometry and kind of do it. So I don't need to do super huge anatomy of her legs, but they need to be at least looking relatively fine. We'll put pants over them, and the pants will have the actual last word on how the legs will look. So yeah, but if you have relatively nice legs, then the pants, it will be kind of easier to do them and to make everything look correct and nice. Okay. Adjusting. Yeah, sometimes we cannot be that fast. We need to stop a little bit, watch, observe, analyze, and adjust. You know, sometimes it's just needed. These things are needed or are needed. Do you know how to properly attach armature to the model in Blender? Probably no, but if I need to do it, I most likely will be able to learn very quickly from some tutorials in the YouTube. So what I advise you to do always is just go to YouTube or to Google and search for your problem, and at some point you will find the answer. Sometimes it takes longer, of course, but that's why we are making those courses, because in the course you will find everything you need to make a character, for example. And you know that in this course, when you watch the promo, you say, okay, yes, this course will help me build up my character skills. I will take it. Or this course is complete crap and I don't want to touch it with a shitty stick. For example, that's just examples, you know. Everything is just an example. So yeah, I have courses, I have even bundles. In ArtStation I have a bundle with all my courses in Blender except for the last ones, but at some point probably I will include them in the bundle, we'll see. For now, you cannot include future courses in the bundle right now. At least that's not an option. Maybe at some point it will be, I don't know. Maybe if I do revision on certain bundle and the next revision can include the course. So you see how I'm doing, the S is thicker in the bottom portion, which usually is the case, but her S is a little bit more like this. So we will do it like that. Her legs are looking very big, the feet especially, not the legs themselves, the feet. And her head, no, the head is, I think, pretty small, and the arm is pretty big. So there are a lot of problems here, which usually I don't see those kind of problems, but this time we have issues and we have to work on them. Let me just close the door here. Yeah. There's a current going on and the door is kind of opening by itself. Okay, let's see what's happening here. The legs, we might make them a little bit longer, like this. The feet, we need them to be smaller. Definitely not such huge, you know, Bigfoot feet. We don't want that. And overall the feet are awkward, but they are awkward in the concept too, so I think we are having the awkwardness of the concept translating or transposing into our model. Yeah, the head could be smaller, so let's try to do it. Alright, good. Now it's better. Let's see the arm. Apply all transformations because I moved it in object mode. When you move something in object mode, you know you will have issues afterwards, so be careful with that. Except if you want to move it in object mode, then it's not a problem. But if you don't want to move it in object mode, you will have problems with mostly with the symmetry. If you put mirror, then you will have some issues. Okay, this should be a little bit thinner, and okay, good. Now the other hand will be a mirror from this hand, and we will actually not see the other hand too much, but we'll see. Let's make the other hand though. Mirror. And apply the mirror. And then move the other hand backward, like this. Okay. Maybe we have to move the legs a little bit strangely, but let me see if I can handle that. To rotate the legs a little bit like this, it will be more like the concept, like this. Yes, good. I think this is fine. And now I rotated them in object mode because I know that this will leave the mirror alone and everything will be fine. Do you know Jan Sculpt? I've heard about him, I don't know him. And I watched some of his videos. Speechart, do you know how to properly attach a material? Yes. Hi. How about your character dragon courses? Your character dragon courses. My character dragon courses are okay. Thank you. I want to become an animator. Where I should start? Any advices, please? Yes. Okay. So, anybody wants to become anything, animator, for example, you have to start by animating. Yes. If you want to be a good marathon runner, you shouldn't do push-ups. You should do marathon running most of the time. So yeah, I think it's clear what you need to do. How to model or sculpt anything? I'm struggling, I cannot match the reference. Yes, I was struggling the first like 5-6 years also. Now I'm still struggling, but I'm a little bit better. So it's absolutely normal. Just keep doing it. Give us life advice, Nico. Probably, yeah. How much will you get for this model? I will get a lot of satisfaction from this model if I do it right. If I don't do it right, I will get no satisfaction. So yeah, we are working for satisfaction this time, so don't worry. Hello, Nico, I wanted to thank you for your course. I bought the one with the Dragon Knight on Udemy and it really helped me and inspired me to move on with 3D sculpting. That's a very good thing, yeah, I would say. Pretty cool. I like to see, hear these stories sometimes. So, you see, from the front, she will look not so good. But our work here is not to do a proper 3D model. Our work exactly is to make it look good from the concept view and a little bit from the side. For example, it should look good from here, from here, from here, from here, from here. From here, it's a long stretch. It will not look very good from there. At least, not now. So, let's make the gun, by the way, to distract ourselves a little bit from the sculpt. And the gun will be difficult, but we will do it now. Cylinder. And as I said, I don't recommend you trying what I'm doing here right now. I'm doing it because it's faster, not because it's the most proper way to do it. So let's analyze the gun a little bit and we'll see what will happen. I just rotated the reference so I can see the gun better in the position that I want it to be. Okay, this I will rotate it, I think 22.5 degrees. Yes. So this is an N-gon with 8 sides. So 8, so octagon probably it's called. Yeah. Octagon. Let's put a cube. And we will put a lot of cubes, by the way. So yeah. Oh, what's happening here? Okay, the cube is here. Amazing cube. Let's make it smaller and... Okay, good. Yeah, probably it's not good, but we'll see. Let's go here. Nice. And now I will add a lot of things. So this, put it here. Maybe make it narrower so it matches the reference. Here we will extrude. Good. And we will extrude the bottom too. And then we'll do this and this. And yeah, I'm just checking out the reference and I'm trying to match it. This will be the front of our gun. This is the back. Okay, let's put another cylinder. And I'm always moving, as I told you, in object mode. Not in object mode, in edit mode. In object mode, it's not a very good idea to move your things. This will be our drum. And the drum doesn't look like a drum, but it will look at like a drum at some point, hopefully. Not now, though. We'll see. Now, this will be something so I can do this. Good. And probably I can move all those things here like that. And maybe a little bit more, I don't know. Alright, it looks relatively fine. Let's try to make the back side. here, like this. And this, we'll move it here. Now I will add a cube, move it here, scale it down, and this cube I will duplicate 2 times. Then I will select one of them, move it here, make it smaller, and put it here. Then the other one, make it bigger. This will be our handle, by the way. Nico, can we create UV sphere, same character and sculpt mode and topology in this method work? Probably you can. You can do everything. Which other 3D skill you wish to be really good at other than sculpting character creation? I guess animation would be nice, but I don't want to put so much time that it's needed. But do you have any shooting in experience with railgun? Yes, I have. I have some experience with railgun. But why that matters, I don't know. Okay, this will be our handle. Make it shorter like this. And again, let's select, move, select, move. Maybe even I will go to sculpt mode and adjust it a little bit like this. And of course I probably will make it smaller, the whole thing. But this is just something like a placeholder we are making the gun. We cannot make a real gun. I mean, really to make it look nice for this amount of time will be difficult. That's why we are making just something like a placeholder. Extruding, and it's like this. Now I will move those things until we are fine with it. Okay, sometimes when I'm doing hard surface, I need to concentrate a little bit, so I cannot talk that much. Sorry about that, but still, I think it's happening quite well for this amount of time that we have. And at the end, you will see that when you see the whole thing, the thing that the gun is not ultra nicely made, it will not make a huge difference. And as you can see, probably I am doing everything from everything. I'm going here and there and doing this and that. It's just amazing stuff. Let's narrow this down a little bit. And we have this portion of the gun. And one more thing we are missing. But the gun took us like more than 10 minutes, which is not the best, I would say. But it's normal. You cannot expect to do a complicated piece like this for less than 10 minutes. Maybe there are people who are extremely good in hard surface and they can do it for way less. But I'm not those people. Yet. No, I'm pretty good in hard surface though, so I can do a lot of things. But this requires time and patience, and especially with the hard surface you need to concentrate to do the things. Because you need to think how is the most appropriate way to do it. If you don't think, you will do it in some way, but it could be like not the best. Let's see how this will happen now. Okay, now the inset, and let's see if we can, but I'm not sure, extrude those manifold like this. amazingly bad. But I think we will just leave it like that. Now, Control R, 2, Control R, 2, and then I have to move easily those backwards, so this looks like that. Okay, we have something that looks like a revolver. Not the best revolver in the world, I would say, but it will do for our purposes. Let's select it, and probably the handle can use a little bit more work. Let me show you what I mean. You know what I mean, critical situation. Now, this plus this equals this. So, it's a little bit more rounded, the handle. And I don't know about the handle, if it should be this big. But let's put the gun into position and we will see what will be. Okay, this gun is a little bit too big for our purposes. Let me sneeze. Because, as you know, you cannot do without sneezing. Sneezing is a very important portion of the sculpting and overall creation of 3D characters. If you don't sneeze, usually it means that you will not be able to do it. I'm sorry to disappoint some people, but that's just the way it works. A little bit smaller gun, although since this is a very big part of her thing, I think we can make the gun a little bit bigger than the concept. Since this gun is, as I said, a very big part of her appearance, never make a weapon which has to be big smaller than the concept. You can make it slightly bigger than the concept and it will be nice and okay. If you make it smaller, then you're in trouble, big trouble. You are just in a world of hurt, you know. I'm joking, of course, but you may be, right? Let's just make this 12 at least, and this will be our belt. She has a belt, so let's make the belt here. Put it. This is the thick belt that she has. We're putting it here and adjusting it in sculpt mode. Alright, so I'm noticing that her arm is a little bit shorter, so let's try to do this. Make her shorter so we can see more of her waist. Like this should be relatively okay. And this belt could go a little bit like on the sides. Okay, we have a belt, we have everything. This arm usually should be like this, but it will not be as visible from the point that we need to look at it from. That's why I'm just keeping it as it is. Let's make the beak here. I'm watching the concept, watching my sculpt, watching the concept, watching my sculpt. My eyes are like this. It's concept, sculpt, just to compare, you know. I do a sneeze a lot, but I can't sculpt. That's the first step, is to sneeze a lot, and then you will be able to sculpt after like a couple of 1,000 hours in sculpting. But if you don't sneeze, I don't think that you will ever be a good sculptor. So this is a good start. To sneeze, it's a good start. Okay, what we need now is her very important, her cloth. So she has a cloth. Obviously, I will just increase the resolution here for our arm and everything, because the arm now and hand especially looks pretty bad. Hopefully at some point it will look not so bad, but it will never look good enough because we don't have that time. In the time that we have, we can make it just relatively fine. Okay, now how to do the cloth? Many people are asking, ha, Nico, but how will we do the cloth? That's a good question. I will do it the same way I did it yesterday for the Discord server stream, which was by combining everything. So applying the mirror here, make sure we don't have anywhere mirror, joining everything for the body, and then remeshing it in sculpt mode, in a little bit more resolution. Thank you very much. Like this. Cool. Now we have it and we can mask it. So yesterday I masked it slowly. Now I will try to mask it a little bit faster. Let's try to do it with a fast mask like this. Okay, good. And now we have to adjust this mask manually, because this will be our bread and butter for the vest that she has. The mask is important, very important. Here in the back we definitely need mask. Nico, can I use sculpting for hard surface and retopology? I allow you to do it. Don't worry, you have my permission, but I don't recommend it. Maybe if you want to do on the hard surface some kind of a bumps, cracks or whatever, yes, but in Blender that kind of detail is difficult to do, and it's problematic usually, because it starts to add up on the poly count and it's not pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. You see, we go over the model and we make sure we have mask everywhere, and now we just go and mask extract. And we have the vest. I will inflate it a little bit so we can see it better. And then we will remesh it. Yes. We'll remesh it on a low value in the beginning, then we'll remesh it on a higher value. We go to this triangle here, remesh, quad remesh, and let's say 2000 for now. This is the remesher for the mesh needs to be manifold and have faces. Oh shit. So there is a problem with the mesh, obviously, and I cannot remesh it with this remesher. We'll see what will happen when I work a little bit more on it. And I don't remember how to make it completely manifold, so it's a problem. Yes. So everything should point at the same direction. So let's go to Tab, press A, and Alt-N, and recalculate outside. Let's try to remesh again. No. There was another thing, but I don't remember quite well in edit mode again. Come on. Select, add mesh, probably mesh. No, I'm just trying to remember. Normals, we already did that. Vertex, edge, face. Triangulate faces. Let's try now. I'm just trying things. Okay, it doesn't work. Let's try the quad remesh, if it will be able to do it. I think quad remesh has done it, which is great, but we need it less. So yeah, I usually don't use this quad remesh, but it's way better than the default remesher in Blender. But I don't use it because it's paid, and I don't want people to think that you can do things only with paid things. You can do things with free stuff as well. Pretty easy though. So yeah, let's make the color. Color is here. Looks awful, but it will look nicer in a few seconds even. Okay, and this portion here we will dig, And as you can see, I have very low amount of polygons because I need to move a lot the polygons to make them in a certain position. And then when I do them, when they are in the position that I want, I can remesh in a higher volume so I can put some detail. Remesh in a higher volume is a very good thing to say to make people be confused as hell. But I said it, so it's fine. This is her shoulder. It's very important to make this. So yes, we're doing it. Because her vest is going out like this and up like this. And yeah, these are interesting things. They are from the concept and they are making the concept look nice and the silhouette look nice. That's why it's good to make them. Now the vest is kind of going like this and around the breasts, but not in front of them. That's why I will push it back. And we can remesh again in a little bit of a higher value probably. We'll see. Let's just fix a few things in here and we probably will remesh again. But this is important, that's why I'm spending so much time on it, because it's important to make it right. We are already like 46 minutes into this and it starts to look like the concept because of this vest mostly. The vest is one of the most important things probably in this concept. So if I do a speed sculpt of this concept without the vest, it will be impossible. I mean, it will be impossible to look like the concept. So let's do this again, the quad remesher in, let's say 3000. All right, looks good. Nico, do you sculpt things for yourself nowadays, only to help your skills and for courses? If we consider this, what I'm doing right now, something that I sculpt for myself, yes. Other than that, usually not so much. I'm sculpting either for streams, or for courses, or for exercise for courses, but not just for myself, just to sit and sculpt some. You know, this concept, for example, I like it for a long time. I have it in my to-do list for a long time. And, you know, this is hitting 2 rabbits with 1 bullet, as we say, is just do it on stream a little bit. It's not completely doing the concept, as you know. This is just a very fast representation of the concept. But still it will look, at least at this is the point, to look relatively fine at the end. Yeah, we will make the silhouette of the sleeves. It's also important. Like this. And yeah, we have most of the things, so yeah, we'll be ready in 2 hours, I think. Let's save. Sometimes it's good to save. And maybe we can make her legs a bit longer, but I'm not completely sure. It's difficult, not difficult. It will be not super difficult to make them longer. Let's make them longer. A little bit longer. With a big grab brush, just from further away, we make it longer. Now, okay. Good E. The other side here of the jacket will do, and we have to again remesh it, this time at 18,000. Why 18,000? I don't know. It just occurred to me that 18,000 is amazing. And now it's on 18,000 and it's looking great. Now we'll do some detailing. Especially what we'll do is those folds here, because they are the most important, and also folds in here which are not super visible, but I will do them anyway. Important folds, you know. Important, as many people say, in some parts of the world. In some parts of the world. Yeah, they don't say are. In some countries, they say are. Are you ready? Not are you ready? That's what separates our accent usually. Because we say, at least we say are. Sometimes we say r. Complete r. Really? Do you really say that? Yes, we do really say that. Because we are Slavs. Not only the Slavs speak this way, by the way. Some other countries also have this type of speech. Free speech for the dumb. This is from one song of Metallica, if you don't know. I'm not saying anybody is dumb or whatever, although I know there are a lot of dumb people in the world, and maybe I could be one of them, because there are too many. So we can always assume that we are one of the many. Like, for example, many people think that in zombie apocalypses they probably will be the hero, but the likeliness for you to be the hero is very small. Most likely you will be zombie in the zombie apocalypses, which is again not something to be afraid of. It's something that you have to embrace. Now let's go to the body again. Remove the mask and make another mask for the pants. Do we have symmetry? No, but we need symmetry, so with the symmetry we will do it. And that's the mask. Then just make sure it covers all. Then we will do mask extract. Sometimes mask extract is making Blender crash, so we have to be careful. Hi Nico, today is April 1st day. Why don't you say I'm going to 2D and not longer on 3D? So I have to joke. Yeah, but we don't need that. By the way, I rotated the legs. So now I have to work on the legs, on both legs separately, which is a little bit awkward. Well, we'll see. Yeah, it will take a little bit more time. I'm gonna take some time. There's a $20 in my pocket. Up and running. Little fun and drama. This is fucking awesome. Now, making the special jeans. Putting some folds. Diamond shape folds. Okay. And in the front also we need a fold here, because it's visible in the concept. One here, it's fine. Then we will do something like this. Alright. Edge. And then I will go over it with the same brush. And we'll do the edge inside too. The inside edge. And then we'll do some folds in here with the not the grab brush, but the draw sharp brush. Okay. fixing this. It looks fine. Now, let's continue refining this area here, because this is our silhouette, and the silhouette is one of the most important things when we do this speed sculpts. The silhouette. If we don't have a proper silhouette, it's gonna be bad. Okay, and this I will point down a bit. We will see how this will go, especially when we go and do what? Just change our focal length at the end, but we'll see. We'll change the focal length so it will be more like the concept. Let's go and see the hair a bit better and see what we can do about it. A lot of this kind of a curvy things here. And it's very important that we do the silhouette of the hair. Because now the hair is okay, it's fine, it's cool. But the silhouette is not. So we have to fix our efforts on the silhouette alone. We have some of those. We can inflate this a little bit, put it in here, make it bigger, deflate it a little bit. Like this. And maybe even do something like this. Then, continuing. By the way, it will be nice to start putting colors. So we are almost 1 hour into the sculpt, which means that we are still fast. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. No. Yeah, I'm doing just stupid things here. This one shouldn't be here, it should be a little bit more up. Let's go to Tool, Advanced Topology. I always need to put this on, because it always kind of goes away. From the front view, it doesn't look as bad as yesterday's. But still, it's not something to brag about, so don't brag about it. Probably the chin is a little bit too much, or something is off. Okay, let's make the hair darker. And these things also darker as the hair. What else should be darker? The gun should be a little bit darker. The handle should be a way darker. This also. And her pants. So we have dark, not so dark, dark, and so on. Okay, again, let's continue working on the hair, because this is one of the selling points of our sculpt, our character, we may say. And if we don't make it good enough, oh, it will not be good. So save your questions for a little bit later, when I will be finishing with the sculpt, and I will answer some questions until we reach at least hour and a half, because usually that's what happens. I think that I will do it for 2 hours, I do it for way less, and then we have to answer questions. I'm sorry about that, to just fill the time. I know it's kind of boring, but that's life. And sculpt mode we will use to just sculpt some things. like this. We need a lot more geometry here. A lot more of those, I mean, hairy things. But as you see, I figured out to make them relatively quick. They are not perfect in any case. They are very far from it, but they will give us a little bit of an idea how this would look if we spend a little bit more time and effort. Not like now, with no time and effort at all. Because for this sculpt, for this model, 1.5 hours is not respectful, you know, and that's what I'm doing, which I guess makes me a bad guy. Okay, good. Now let's duplicate this belt and select it and make it a little bit smaller. And this will be her other belt. She has 2 belts. At least 2. I'm just doing 2 of them. So if there are more, I'm sorry, I will not do them all. I will do just 2 of them. So this is the other belt. It also contributes to the overall silhouette of the character. That's why we are doing this goddamn belt. Now, the other thing that contributes is a cube. And you will say, but there is no cube in the concept. Yes, but now it is. And this is her probably holster of the huge gun that she has. It's a little bit without shape, in my opinion. Shapeless holster. But still, let's make it. And it'll be cool. Not but cool. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. You have to be careful with these sounds. Okay, now this holster needs to be, no, the belt needs to be a little bit more white, and the holster a little bit darker, if it's a holster, but yeah. Then we can select one of these things, Shift D, and this, what is this? This is kind of a plane. And planes are very useful sometimes. I will show you what I mean, like this. Okay, plane here. One plane also will be nice to have around this area here. And this one will have a couple of cuts, so we can sculpt it a little bit. Good job. Now, let's add a color here, which is darker. Nice. What else do we need? I don't know. But hopefully there is something more. We need to do these things on her shoulder. But let's first color a little bit the breasts here. She has something like this. And this finger shouldn't be black. Okay, good. Now, let's put some sharp things on her shoulder. But first let's fix the shoulder a little bit. All right. Something like this will be fine. You should get the same haircut as her, Nico. Yeah, by the way, I would want to do that, yeah. I would go to a barber shop and I ask them to make the same haircut like her. Probably it will be difficult for them, but if they are good barbers, I would say they should be able to do it. She has amazing haircut. So good. Here's our something that's difficult to make, as you can see. It's not very easy. But we at least are trying, you know. Some people are not even trying and they say, oh, I cannot do it. And we are trying, so this is good. When you try, at some point, probably you will achieve something. If you don't try, you will never, ever, ever achieve anything. Alright, let's make a little bit of a color on her face. And again, I will say this is only a 3D sketch. This is not a complete character in any measure, it's or form. It's only a 3D sketch, so it's fast and it's furious. She doesn't have eyes, but we will make kind of something like eyes. We can put a little bit of a makeup in here. It doesn't matter, by the way. Where is her head? She's headless. The head disappeared. It's fine. I mean, it looks almost like the concept. This arm is hideous, so let's work on it a little bit. The hand, I mean, is hideous. The arm is not so visible, but the hand is visible, and it's obviously not something to brag about. And it will never be. But at least we can do, the least we can do is to just fix it a bit. By the way, what I like to do is, I did it yesterday, is just to make this is her pinky, going out like this. And we may need a little bit more geometry, but let me make sure, first let's save, and then make sure that I don't destroy the model, or don't crash the program, which sometimes happens. I think it's a little bit more interesting for her pinky to be like this. Now I'm hearing a wasp or a bee trying to get in to the room, because it is relatively quiet, and also the doors are open because today is a very nice day outside. I don't completely like this pinky. Maybe if I work a little bit more on it. Yeah, now it's a bit better. Yeah, now it's fine. Okay, let's fix a little bit the legs, because they look awkward. I will just put some color into them, and I hope it will be the end of it. The end of the line. I don't want to hear anything from this feet anymore in my life. One, two, three. My baby don't mess around me, 'cause you're not down and down for short. What does it really pass me to the night? One the door. Hey. Yeah, the problem is that it's not symmetrical. I have to do everything by myself. But as always, it's not a huge issue. Alright. Save. Then mesh, circle, go. Where's the circle? It's here. Rotate, move. F, no, F, okay. F fills the circle, obviously. Then we can position ourselves in here and make the circle big enough so it can be red. Hot chili circle. You think you got it? Oh, you think you got it? You got it. Nothing is forever. Smaller circle. You don't see it here, but I remember it from yesterday, so it's something like this. And of course we are relying on the vision of the concept artist, and he has a good vision, I think, so we are okay. Okay, we can fix few things even more, but for now it looks relatively fine. Yeah, the handle of the gun is a little bit too much forward. We have to put it like this. Yes. Good, now it looks more like the concept. Here on the front of the gun, we can do something also. If I can select it, okay, I could. Now, I press K and do this, and then this, I'll just move it back. Yeah, it's nothing too much, but it's something. And then we have to have the white background, because this gray one, it's not looking great. Matte cap, okay, I don't remember. So let's just put a plane there, a big one, a big ass plane we'll put here, very big. I mean big, but big like this. And then we can do one more thing. Let's try something here. She doesn't have shadow on the floor, which you don't know. You know I'm a sucker for shadow on the floor, so let's try to do something like a shadow on the floor for her. Shadow on the floor. Dun, 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 shadow on the floor. Dun, dun, dun. And this shadow should be a different color than now. Let's try white for starters, which is great. I think she has a great shadow. She doesn't have a great shadow. We should make it a bit darker. And the last thing is, or one of the last thing, is to go a little bit further with the focal length. Now the gun should be more forward from this position that we're looking. Maybe what we can do is move the head. Yeah, I think it's appropriate to move the head, is completely okay. Why not? Okay. Tell me now. Hey Nico, how do you add more resolution without making Blender crash? I need some advices, please. I just added step by step, little by little. I don't add a huge amount very fast. That's a good tip. And also, good video card is not a must, but it's good to have. Like better than 3060 Ti. It's good. With the 3060 Ti, you also can work very, very nicely in Blender. By the way, I'm missing something here, which is, I will show you now. Let's go here a little bit darker, add some shadows. Just to separate the arm from the rest of it. It's a good idea to do it. And then I will add those things like this. And the sharp things, which will be just cones. Easy. On her shoulder. They are not completely mandatory because they don't contribute to the silhouette of the character, so I will do them because I just want. Let's make them a little bit darker. Okay. It's just dark and not so dark, dark and not so dark. That's how we are doing this character. Let's add cavity, shadow. The shadow is not exactly needed though. It's a little bit too much in my opinion. Let's see if we can make it better. Shadow on the wall. Ooh, a lot of shadow. No, maybe a little bit of, tiny bit of shadow. No, without shadow is better. Better. And the gun could be a little bit darker. Not like this. Probably like this, yes. This one too. Like this. I would say it's relatively fine. For the amount of time that we have done. So, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Good. I just hoped on stream you telling a bit, I don't know about what's happening. Nico, can we buy brush for wrinkles, clothes or face skin in Blender? Same. I don't know. I don't do that. The hair is too small, no? Yeah, probably it's a little bit on the small side, but it's fine. I want to buy one of the courses. I use Blender. I can make sculpts, but they look like a little bit weird. What course I should choose? Some of the advanced or intermediate courses you should try, not the beginner ones. And the beginner ones are visible. The rabbit and the mouse are the beginner ones. The other ones are okay. Can you see any difference with your new GPU? No, I don't see any difference with my new GPU. Not like separating and stuff make a lot of sense. Blender will start to struggle far before 1 million polygons, while ZBrush, that's not true of course. while ZBrush won't start noticing something cooking up to 25 million is. That's not true. It depends on your video card, so you cannot say what poly count will be, but if you have a good video card, you can go up to like 10 million polygons and you will notice a little bit of lag in Blender, but it will not be something to brag about. In Blender, I mean. In ZBrush, of course, way more. I think I'll make more noise than the other one. Good. What the speed sculpt would be allowed on models for games or animation? What in the speed sculpt wouldn't be allowed on models for games or animation? Everything. I mean, all the things here on this speed sculpts are just made for just fast and without a thought of 3D printing or game modeling or whatever. This is just a speed sculpt, just for fun. If it has to be 3D printed, for example, we need to spend for this one probably around 5 to 10 hours more, because there's a lot of detail that has to be added and some things to be fixed, and the jacket has to be remade from scratch and a lot of things. If it has to be for game, of course, this has to be a complete different thing. So not a pose, it has to be a pose, and then a lot of sculpting, a lot of detailing, a lot of low poly modeling. It will be a disaster. So yeah, not a disaster, just a big work. Why don't you use a color picker? I use it sometimes. What do you personally consider an expert 3D character artist? What are some of the traits you expect to see out of them? When I see a concept made from, when I see a model made from a person, usually I can say if he is a good or not. So not traits or whatever, working from concept, good anatomy skills, that's the things. Amazing speed sculpt. How do you have the miniature before? People today are asking some strange questions. It's not a speech our life without shadow on the wall. Yeah, exactly. Nico, congratulations for 60,000 subscribers on this channel. Oh, there are already 60,000. Yeah, that's nice. Hi Nico, what kind of Wacom pen tablet that you use? One by Wacom is called. One by Wacom. The cheapest Wacom tablet. Nico, can you post new server link please? I want to join in with the actual link, but it doesn't work. It works for most people, by the way. Try to take the link and paste it into a new browser window. Not click on it, but take it and paste it. It sometimes works in some people. How much cost to sell a model like that? If somebody wants to buy it, which is a long shot, a model like that, properly made for printing, it could cost a lot if it's custom. So if somebody orders you this model, then they have to pay like, it depends on how much you charge for an hour, but for me, if it takes me like 20 hours to make this model for printing, for 3D printing, I will ask for at least $1,000. Some people will ask for less, that depends. Hey Nico, I'm following your stylized mouse course. I was wondering how to practice sculpting. Once I have finished it, to improve sculpting further, should I do another one of your courses? So, that's what I did. Two absolute beginner courses with different characters. They are almost the same as a content, but they have slightly different problems that you have to deal with. The idea is that if you feel not secure when you finish one of them, then you can try the other one to solidify your knowledge. That's also. And also, of course, when people are choosing which character to do, sometimes they will choose the rabbit because they like the rabbit more. Sometimes they will choose the mouse because they like this character more. Maybe I will do another one in the future with a different character just to have more variety. Again, a beginner one, but for a newer version of Blender. Although these versions of Blender these days are not that different anymore. They differentiate by few things, very small things, like a couple of shortcuts here and there. How are you doing? Fine, thank you. Do you use the 4.1 version? No, I'm using still 4.0. Nico, can we buy brush for wrinkles, clothes or face sculpts in Blender? I don't know if you can. Probably you can, but I don't know. You just have to search for yourself sometimes. Sometimes Nico doesn't have all the answers. I know it's blasphemy, but hear me out. Sometimes the answers are very easily found by Googling something. So try that and tell me how it went. Maybe it will be nice. Why shouldn't it be? Okay. I like to move it. I like to move it. We like to move it. One important thing I want to know: how to know measurements of your sculpt without mistakes. You can't. You will always make mistakes. I make mistakes with, you mean the proportions probably, and I understand proportions are very important and one of the most important things, and to learn how to do them properly, you need to work a lot. You need to spend a lot of time. And I personally have problems sometimes with proportions, as you saw in the beginning. If you are watching from the beginning, I was struggling in the beginning with the proportions. Now it looks relatively okay. Probably it's not the best proportions, but it's relatively fine. It could be better, I'm sure, but it's not gonna be. A little bit more of an S we want. It's always good to have S. Nico, when will you visit South Korea? That's a good question, by the way. When? I don't know. Someday. I should. I've heard a lot of good things about the street food in Seoul, you know. So we'll see. It was Seoul, right? The capital of South Korea. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. In the North Korea it was... I don't remember. What's the capital of North Korea? Beijing? No, Beijing is China. I don't remember. But it's not Seoul, I'm sure of it. You know, of South Korea probably it's Seoul. Seoul. Brother, what are the keywords you use in Pinterest for reference? I can't find any sketches like the reference you use in Pinterest. Usually I find those reference that I'm using right now in ArtStation, not in Pinterest. But in Pinterest you can find a lot of things. You just have to go from, you know, search for something, then find the thing that suits the most your search. When you click on it, another things that are looking like it will show and it will go. How you learn to make the scale right without mistakes? I didn't. You never learn. You just have to try and trial and error and, you know, a lot of practice, and then you will start to see it a little bit better. And at some point maybe you will make it pretty fast without mistake, which I think I'm doing right now. I'm pretty fast, relatively pretty fast. Relatively pretty fast is a good thing to say. How many polygons for high poly character game is normal with clothes? With clothes, between 10 and 50 million is fine for the high poly. Don't worry, atomic toons people have different proportions. Yes. Have you ever sculpted an écorché? If so, do you find it helpful? It's always helpful to sculpt anything from concept. That's definitely true here. So don't hesitate. Just do it. Looks like I missed the good part. No, you don't miss anything because this will be in YouTube. After we finish, it will be in YouTube. So don't worry about nothing. It's all gonna be fine. Alright, so let's finish this, and it's 1 hour and 30 minutes. I think it's fine. If the assets share similarities, can you use a base mesh for all of them and adjust it? Yes, you can. And it's a good idea to do it, by the way, because otherwise you lose time. And sometimes time is essential for some projects. Since I'm that fast, I can afford to work from a sphere usually. But if there is a project, let's assume there is a project that people have already some characters and they want all the characters to be from one base mesh, then I have to use this base mesh. Usually I will not take a job like this, but for some people this will be okay. Goodbye. And see you later, alligators.